But I'll tell you the thing that was very maddening to me, guys, was that Coby White trade. Because when they did it, fine. But when they did it, they find out that he's injured, still has a strain. And so the Bulls lose one of those draft picks because of it. Because they played him in the previous game before they traded him. And they played him 30 minutes in this game. And I'm like, my mind just, it's incompetent. I hate incompetence and miscommunication. I hate it. And it was just incredibly incompetent. Because yes, you're going to lose your draft pick because you're not handling your business. And, and you shouldn't be shocked by that. But to have him out there playing the day before when you know he's in trade talks, he shouldn't even be out there. And he was already dealing with the strain all season. And you still wanted to run him out there for 30 minutes? Blew my mind. They hurt themselves in that aspect, which took that grade from a C to a C minus for me. I probably would have just gave it a D plus like sometimes if I had to say it like that. But yeah, man, I do think that's their vision is they want flexibility and they want this. You're just continually, feeding them trash and crap and, lies and, half-truths and things like that. They're not dumb. They know what's going on. They see what's happening. And they will get frustrated. And they will yell. All right? And they will go full my main man, Matt Peck, on you because of what you're doing and showing us, man. So I've said this on the show. Sometimes it's insulting, and you don't want to insult somebody's intelligence about what you're seeing out there. Again, I'm not a dude who plays basketball or anything. I'm saying right now. But I'm saying since you can't just sit here and, and feed it to me, like I don't know what I'm seeing and I don't know what I'm looking at. I know exactly what I'm looking at. I know exactly what I'm seeing. I know exactly what I'm hearing, bro.
Yep.
You can't insult me, in this kind of way because then I get frustrated by it. But if you're trying to win, great. If you're trying to lose, great. But if you're continually giving me the half-truths and, partial lies or little white lies, as they call them and things like that, that's the middle. Every single day, and I never want to be there.
Hi everyone, Tim Kitzer with you, the voice of NBA Jam. From top journalists and authors to rising influencers and insiders, Hoopsology brings you the voices driving basketball forward. With elite guests and sharp analysis, Matt, Justin, and Alan keep you plugged into everything hoops. From downtown, boom shakalaka.
He is the co-host of the CHGO Bulls podcast. We have the pleasure in welcoming back Big Dave onto Hoopsology. Welcome back to the show.
Appreciate y'all, man. It's good to see y'all. Always, like I told you, you let me know I'm coming.
Much appreciated.
Yes, sir.
I've been trying to decide when to have you on because I was like, all right, when the season started, they got off to a hot start. So it's like, should I invite Big Dave back on to talk about the hot start? And then they falter. And then I was like, okay, maybe we'll see when we get to the trade deadline or maybe like after the All-Star break. But I think after when the trade deadline happened, I was like, all right, that's it. It's like we need to have Big Dave on immediately to discuss what happened with this trade deadline because I was just kind of flabbergasted to try to understand what this team did.
We waited till it got weird.
Correct. Bingo.
I know exactly who to call. It gets weird.
Exactly.
I know just who to call.
Correct. So, correct me if I'm wrong, there was about 7 trades that the Bulls were involved in. Is that accurate?
That sounds completely accurate. I'll double check it really quick, but that sounds very, very, very accurate, man. It was pretty insane. It was pretty crazy. Looking at the final tally here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 trades. What was made. So it was a weird roller coaster ride, Jay. Like, because it started with the Dario Saric 3-team trade, and we were like, okay, that makes sense. That's a good, smart move, clearing stuff up, great. Taking on a bad contract, you're not keeping them. Cool. I understand it. So, off to a solid start, a couple of second rounders. Okay, great. And then they did the 3-team trade, giving up Kevin Huerter, who I have no problem seeing go, and bringing in Jaden Ivey and Mike Conley Jr., I believe, was with it for him and Dario Saric. Cool. You take a flyer on Jaden Ivey. If he works out, great. If he doesn't, no sweat off you. He's out of here. Doesn't matter. Cool. Wonderful. I was a huge Jaden Ivey fan coming out of college anyway. This works. Okay, cool. 2 solid moves, right? I'm like, cool. Then they did the Boston deal. Nikola Vucevic, Nuggets second round, 2027 second round pick for Anthony Simons and that 2026 second round pick. Okay, cool. I like Anthony Simons a lot. I was a huge Anthony Simons fan in Portland. I liked it a lot. And the Bulls have a habit of getting guys who torch them. And Anthony Simons torched them earlier on in the season. I believe he had 7 or 8 threes in that game in Boston. So I get it. Like, cool. And you give Vooch an opportunity to go be with a contender. Of course, that should have happened years ago, but fine. You know what I mean? Fine. He did it. Wonderful. Then they were like, okay, let's bring it back down a little bit. Because then they do the Coby White trade. And that's when I said, huh? It's like I didn't understand what they got back. I didn't mind him being traded. I'm not tripping on that. But I saw, I was like, but you traded him for Colin Sexton. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, well, maybe they're getting him and they're going to release him. And it's fine. And Usman Yang. And I was like, okay, fine. You know, I don't love it. 3 more second round picks. Okay. It's a lot of second round picks for a guy who said he doesn't like second round picks. And they're stockpiling on these second round picks. And then they said, well, we're not going to start. How about, you know, we go ahead and trade out Julian Phillips to Minnesota and give you guys Dillingham back. And that's what I was, and like 4 second round picks. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on, you know, right now. Like, I didn't want to trade Ayo, period. But I get it. If you're going to trade him, I thought he would be a move when you're getting a bigger piece. And so that's what I thought they were doing, was trying to get a bigger piece, maybe a Zion or somebody will go after that. Great. Makes all the sense in the world. Then they said, Dalen Terry will get you out of here for Yabusele. And I'm like, but Yabusele is a guy who wants to win. Like, he improves your team. He doesn't hurt your team. He improves it. So now I'm extra confused what they're doing. And then the Bucks Sun swap, you know, not a big deal. You know what they trade, getting Nick Richards and basically getting a center to shore up your front line. And I'm like, that's a team that's not trying to lose. When you're drafting for position or making trades for position, you're not trying to lose. I'm just thinking, man, you can play Yabusele or Patrick Williams at center and Jalen Smith and go for that. And they were like, nah, we're going to shore up that, get a backup, and move forward. So they got a ton of second-round picks. I don't know what they're going to do with them. They kept Colin Sexton. I was shocked at that. Simons they kept also. So they got rid of guards to get more guards. And now they have a plethora of guards and a front court that's cool and okay, but bad, but not bad. You know, like, so basically still in this middle kind of thing. But it does feel like they picked the direction and said, okay, we want to be bad. We're not going to say we're going to be bad, but we kind of want to be bad. Like, I equated it to a person who you should never get in a relationship with, because they will be very undecided in the entire time. Like, do you love me? I mean, I like you. I mean, it's cool. We spend the time. It's nice. You know, maybe, kind of, sort of, you know, and it's been like that, you know, for the team. But I say overall, maybe I give them a C-, you know, for all of this, you know, that they did, because they did get off some stuff. But they just brought back more stuff. You know, it's like trading out your stuff and bringing in more and a little bit more. And I was really confused about that, because it is a ton of guards that are still here available on this roster.
Well, that aligns with the Chicago Sun-Times. They gave the trades a D+.
Oh,
I think
okay.
that's the sentiment. What is the front office? What is their kind of mindset in terms of their strategy with the trade deadline? Are they looking to, you know, create cap space? Or are they looking just to kind of unofficially, like you were saying, tank so they can get a high draft pick? What is exactly is the future of this team? Because they gave up a lot of what, you know, their young core for kind of a bunch of other guards. I just don't understand, as you know, as Matt knows this, because I've been probably boring him with my takes ever since we started the show. I can consistently say this. I don't understand what they're doing. I just keep repeating myself. So
I mean,
it's baffling. Yeah.
I mean, guys, that has been the phrase. Like, like, I don't know what they're doing. Like, I've heard that a lot from a lot of respected minds throughout the NBA. And I was confused. I didn't understand. What is the front office doing? They want to be bad, but they don't want to say it. And AK said it, like, when he would, after the, you know, press conference after all this happened, they asked him, you know, is this, you know, a tank or anything like that? I mean, he said, it's a stage, is what he said. It's a stage. He refuses to say that word, tank. He'll give you reset. stage, retooling. He'll say things like that instead of just telling you exactly what it is, which is the people I completely hate in life who just won't tell you exactly what something is. So they want to be this team that has flexibility, and they want to be able to have free agents or sign free agents in the offseason. And yes, they want this draft pick as well. They're not naive in that sense if they understand how monumental and huge this draft is coming up. So they want to do it. They just don't want to look like they're doing it. So we'll see how they do Josh Giddey and, Modest and other players who can help you win as they kind of go forward, because they started doing the right thing. They told Giddey, hey, sit down a little bit till the All-Star break. Trey Jones, yeah, you continue to sit. I don't even know if Zach Collins will be back for the second half of the season. He has a really weird foot injury. So I don't know what's happening with that, but if that's going to be the case, we'll know for a fact if they are resetting or retooling. But I'll tell you the thing that was very maddening to me, guys, was that Coby White trade, because when they did it, fine. But when they did it, they find out that he's injured, still has a strain, and so the Bulls lose one of those draft picks because of it. Because they played him in the previous game before they traded him, and they played him 30 minutes in this game. And I'm like, my mind just, it's incompetent. I hate incompetence and miscommunication. I hate it. And it was just incredibly incompetent, because yes, you're going to lose your draft pick because you're not handling your business, and and you shouldn't be shocked by that. But to have him out there playing the day before when he's in trade talks, he shouldn't even be out there. And he was already dealing with the strain all season, and you still wanted to run him out there for 30 minutes? Blew my mind. They hurt themselves in that aspect, and which took that grade from a C to a C minus for me. I probably would have just gave it a D plus like sometimes if I had to say it like that. But yeah, man, I do think that's their vision, is they want flexibility and they want this draft pick.
Dave, I'm wondering too if maybe like the larger picture, a lot of people are talking about, the cap space that this potentially opens. I think especially with trading like Vooch to the Celtics, do you see the Bulls kind of, just rolling the dice on free agency and hoping they can, strike it big there?
Absolutely. AK likes a big name and I'm just judging off what I've seen. He likes a big name. He likes making the splash. Now, the issue is I don't know who the splash is. This. If he gets LeBron James, that's the splash. That kind of free agent. James Harden, another guard. You know what I mean? That's the splash. So, yeah, I think that he will be active in free agency, trying to sign someone. And my fear is he'll overpay for someone simply to make it look like I've done something. And that's always my biggest fear with it right now, because, hey, Patrick Williams is still here. So I'm terrified when it comes to that. But yeah, man, I do agree that in free agency, AK will be active and will be looking to sign one of those players with a big name behind them to put on his team and then go into next season. Now, if he doesn't get it, then I think you'll see the full stage or reset or whatever go into fruition coming into the season, because there's no other option here. If you can't get that free agent to play with these guys like that, then it's really time to go ahead and do what we've all wanted for about maybe 2 years now, and just go ahead and start this thing over and prepare for the next year's draft, which won't be as heavy as this one, but still, you have to look at the writing on the wall at some time.
Yeah, and my mind also goes to, and I've already told Justin this, but the AD in Washington hasn't re-signed, and we know, or hasn't extended at this point, and we know there was desire in the past for him to play with Chicago. I don't think at this point he's someone that you kind of leave that max cap space for, that precious cap space for, but I wonder if that's something in their planning. I still love AD when he plays, but we know that's not been the issue when he's on the court. It's that he's not on the court very often.
No, very true. Yeah, getting AD now would be weird for me. I was cool with it like at the beginning of the year, but after all these trades, I think it would be weird for me now. to understand, well, what's the move here? Like, because this is bumping you up to a play-in, or maybe competing for a 6 seed, and that's about it. If he's healthy, again, this is the colossal if he's healthy. So it would confuse me as to the direction that they were trying to go and what they're really trying to do. That's why I mentioned names like, it's a superstar, but when I mention names like LeBron James and things, I get it. Okay, fine. You sign LeBron James, you sign LeBron James. Okay, great. We'll deal with whatever comes with that. But Anthony Davis is a different kind of project, as you're alluding to, Matt. That's a different kind of project that you're dealing with. That is hey, we're ready to do something kind of move for the Bulls, and hey, we're trying to be good kind of move for the Bulls. And those are two moves that they should not be after or be trying to make. Like, yeah, they should really be just trying to develop these young guys that they have on the team right now. We have to see who is going to be able to play with Modest Zealous and Josh Giddey. This is your future we're talking about. AD can play with anybody. Like, that's Anthony Davis, okay? He fits with anyone. So, yeah, it would be very surprising. It would be really weird for me, Matt, if they just said, hey, we're going to go sign Anthony Davis. But it would be so Bulls for them to actually make that kind of move.
I also, follow up to this focus on free agency. Just curious what you think in everything that you're looking at and kind of the perception around the league. What do you think Chicago looks like, in 2026 as a free agent destination? To me, I still like the jerseys look awesome. Granted, like I watched the sport in the 90s, so that's probably never going to change for me. It's still a big market, one of the biggest in the country. But what do you think this looks like as a destination in 2026?
2026, I think it's a little different as far as what you're speaking is concerned, because the world is smaller now than it was in the 90s, meaning you don't need to go to these bigger cities to have your brand grow and be impacted as much as you did in the 90s. Now, the Lakers are still the Lakers. LA is still LA, all right? That's not going to change. That's what it is. But you don't need to say, hey, I got to go to New York. Hey, I got to go here. No, you can literally say, I'll go to San Antonio, where Wembanyama is, and play there and be fine. Yeah. Pat Riley is always an issue in Miami as far as going there because of Miami and because of Miami. You know what I mean? So it's always an issue, whether it's the team or the city. There are issues. Chicago, yes. I'm not saying it's not a destination city for people to want to come to and play in. Vooch loved it here. He loved the city of Chicago, man. Like, and what's not to love? Like, I completely understand that. But as a team and as an organization, that's what I feel is maybe hurting it a little bit more, because regardless of what we know or believe, like, people talk, and when that conversations are being had, then you're being judged in those conversations about, is this a good destination or the bad one to go to? And just judging by what we've gotten here as far as free agents, like the last, three alphas, Paul Gasol, who I love, those were great. Paul Gasol came because of Joakim Noah. Is there someone on the team that will come here because of a player on the team? And so I'm hoping for Modest Vucevic right now. I'm hoping he can be that guy, but I really believe that's going to be 2 to 3 years down the line because of the relationships that he's building with the younger, crop of players that are out here right now. But yeah, the destination is our guys looking and saying, I want to play with Josh Giddey. Our guys looking and saying, hey, man, I want to be coached by Billy Donovan. Are they looking at that, or are they looking at Charlotte and saying, man, Conker Nipple is wild right now? Hey, man, Trae Young and Anthony Davis over here with the number 1 pick with Trey Johnson. Oh, man, that's interesting, too. Oh, man, Cooper Flag looks crazy right now. Like, I might want to go do that. So Anthony Edwards, you know what I'm saying? Jalen Brunson. So my point of all saying this is everybody I'm naming has stars. And yeah, you want to play with a star when you're a free agent because you want your money, without a doubt, but you want to win. Now, the free agents who are just the money are how we end up with Ron Mercer. How we ended up with Eddie Robinson, because they're coming for the cash, which I'm not mad at. Get your paper. Like, this is a business. Completely understand that. But the type of player that you're getting. And, that's hard, because the Bulls have put themselves kind of in this position just by the moves that they've made for many years. And people around the league, like I said, speaking about it and talking about it, it's just not a good look. But I would say it is still somewhat of a destination as far as a city you would love to play in, because there's nothing better than the United Center. I don't care what day you go, there's nothing better. It's a great time to watch a game. The crowd and the feeling of that is unparalleled. Like, it's just on par with others like Madison Square Garden and places like that. But I mean, I was there for Derrick Rose night, my goodness. Like unreal, feelings that were going on there. So as far as that's concerned, that is absolutely a selling point. But I don't know if that's enough to make a player want to leapfrog those other players and destinations I mentioned to come be with the Bulls.
So to that point, with Bulls ownership, what do they look for in terms of, I guess, rating the front office for Chicago? Are they looking for just a competitive team that's going to bring fans to the United Center? I get that impression, right? With the Bulls, you can correct me if I'm wrong, for the last, I don't know, just from like the Derrick Rose era on, I don't think the Bulls have been atrocious. I don't think they've had the worst record in the league, correct me if I'm wrong. I think they've always been, in the playoff hunt, always been relevant in terms of, 12 to the 8th seed, but never really in contention, except for most recently, the years with Lonzo Ball before he got hurt. So I guess my question is there going to be a time where ownership's going to really hold this front office accountable, or is it cool if, hey, as long as our bottom lines are being met, because we're cool with it? Because, I live in Denver, and the Rockies are the worst team in baseball. They're atrocious. But people go. People love Coors Field. They love going to Coors Field. It's a good time, but they've been atrocious. But the fans they're not holding their team accountable. They want to go see their team. And so I kind of get that sense with Chicago in terms of the fans. They love the Bulls. They want to go, but at the same time, there's really nothing to hold them accountable. As long as their bottom lines are being met, and jersey sales are at the top, and they're still one of the most popular teams within the NBA. So I'm just wondering where the accountability is going to be, going to happen, because if that doesn't happen, I see this cycle of mediocrity just keep moving forward, pretty much.
First of all, amen. It's everything you just said, sir. 100% correct with every single thing you just stated. Look, the reason we can say that they aren't concerned with winning is the fact that AK is still here. Like, he's still here. I just mentioned that we lost a draft pick. Like, for me, that's a fireable offense. Like, I would fire my person running my team if they didn't do that. I would fire you for the contract you gave Patrick Williams. I would fire you for continuing to be in the middle and going nowhere. But it doesn't seem to be the case. So it seems like he's just Teflon, for some reason. And that's very sad to say. But everything you said is correct. That's what it is. It feels like the front office is just concerned with the bottom line. And they are concerned with putting butts in the seats and butts in the suites. And if that is going on and that is okay, then everything's fine. They'll take the brunt of, whatever comes with that. But Bulls always top 3 in attendance, as you mentioned. Like you said, jersey sales always up there. We're talking about, where teams are valued at. They are always in the top 5, top 10 when they talk about teams and their value. This is like a $4, $5, $6 billion team we're talking about. And it's international, When I was at Derrick Rose night, there was just a ton of international fans. Some who were fans of CHGO Bulls who I run into. We come from Paris, from Dublin, from all over, from Germany, from all over, because Michael Jordan and what he did impacted the globe. And they are still continuing to reap the benefits of that. And like I tell everybody, you fan how you want to fan. Okay? You be a fan exactly how you want to be it. And because I'm saying this because my man, Matt Peck, he didn't go to Derrick Rose night because he's fed up, with the team. He was like, I was there last year. All right. Why are they doing this again? I'm not going. They're not getting my money. I'm not going again. All right? I'm not doing this again. And I was like, cool. I couldn't wait to go. I was like, I can't wait to go, bro. I'm going. All right? I was like, this is Derrick Rose retirement. Yes, I am going. And I just feel neither one of us are wrong. Like, how you stand on it is how you stand on it. You could be a fan that way. But we want to win. And I think that's the end part of that. We're talking about nostalgia. Cool. We want to win, though. Like, I'm tired of watching this kind of team. We can have these conversations about them being the destination, or is this player still wants to come? And the reason we ask these things is because of the product on the floor isn't good enough, for what people want to see, as far as even fans or even just regular fans, because the NBA is way better when the Chicago Bulls are good. Everything is up. It's the same with football.
Yep.
When the Bears are good, the NFL is better. When the Blackhawks are up, hockey is better. MLB, when the Cubs are up, it's better. Even me being a White Sox fan knows this. Like it's just what it is. And for some reason here with the Bulls, the ownership is determined to be okay with the bottom line and not okay with what's on the floor. And again, I can say this by what's going on and what I'm seeing. That's how I'm judging it, by simply what I'm seeing and the products you're putting out and the mishaps that continually happen. Like last year when I did the show with you all, and I remember when Ayo Dosunmu had told him he had like 5 separated shoulders. Like once they went and did a huge X-ray on him, they found fire everybody. Like I couldn't believe that. Why? How are you still employed? How is that okay?
Yep.
Like, seriously, how is that okay for a young man's career that you've done those kind of things? So, yes, they like their money and they like the bottom line. I hope that they learn to understand that the more you win, the more money that you can really truly make here. All right. The more people will come out, the more sellouts that will really happen. Like, Bulls fans are starving, guys, starving. This is why they are in debates. Like, I don't know, Dave, I saw Patrick Williams have a couple of good games. Like, he might be coming around, and then he goes airballs a layup. I'm like, no, bro, he is not that guy. But it's because they're starving, and I understand that. We want winners. And I wish that the heads, I wish Reinsdorf really wanted to be that. I wish he really wanted to win. Because he doesn't want to win. He just wants the check. He wants the bottom line of the money. And that's the most frustrating part. And what's upsetting about it is you can have that and still be a good team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have to say, oh, man, I'm going to do the most with the least. You don't have to do it that way. It doesn't have to be run like a mom and pop shop. You're the Chicago Bulls, man. And I want them to feel and understand that and move in that kind of fashion. I will say the way that it works, guys, is embarrassment. Things change when they get embarrassed, all right? All-Star Game is the best example of that. When that All-Star Game happened and the National, they were embarrassed by how fans were treated, you saw everything start to change, all right? Things started to immediately change. What's happening now is bordering on that kind of embarrassment and the things that they're doing, within the organization and the players they're getting and the contracts they're signing. It's like, come on, guys. When everybody's asking you, what are you doing? It's putting you on that level of embarrassment. So hopefully they feel that kind of shame and move forward and try to be better. But yeah, they are absolutely a bottom line kind of organization.
So what is more harmful to the league, this kind of cycle of mediocrity or tanking? Because I just think for the Bulls, I'm just thinking for people that watch the team, they love their team, they're going, and that benefits the league from an audience standpoint. But from growing the game, is that going to really benefit a new fan from watching the Bulls who they're mediocre? I mean, they're going to, they're playing, the Thunder. The Thunder are going to annihilate them, most likely. So why watch that game? I mean, what's the value proposition there compared to tanking, which I don't like, but at the same time, we've seen that it works, and we've seen that it is effective, and, it's the fortunes change from one year to another. So I'm just wondering with a lot of these owners, I know a lot have been made of tanking, but also with these, I just feel like with these owners, it's kind of like with fans and with the league, like you were saying, I feel like they want to make money. We should be real about that. And I think with Adam Silver, I think there needs to be a connection of getting these owners. What are they in it for? Are they in it to win, or are they in it to make money? And I think that's kind of the balance between the two, because I think there's a huge disconnect there, and that's why there's a lot of discontentment. I think with tanking. I just want to get your thoughts on that, because I think there's not only the Bulls are not the only team that are kind of stuck in this cycle as well.
Yeah, I think it's okay to say you're in this to make money. I don't have a problem with making money. We're a capitalist society. I don't have a problem with making. This is why you own a team. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Like, I get it.
Agreed.
This is what you. Yeah, make money. Yes, please. Make money. Like, I have no problem. Here, take mine and give me a cool jersey. Great. Like, I'm cool with that. I'm understanding of that. I'm just not cool with you not caring. That's the only thing I'm not cool with. Like, you not giving a damn. You not giving a crap about what's happening and what's going on with your team just as long as these checks are coming in. Like, I'll never support that. I'm in 100% agreement with you, Jay, as far as tanking. I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan. I've been vocal about it. I'm not a fan of tanking at all. I hate watching. I like watching good basketball. This is why I still argue about the 3 alphas. I was like, I'd rather watch that than watch bad basketball. I was more happy watching those guys play than I was watching a trash team, which I had seen previously, led by Chris Dunn and Niko Mirotic and those guys. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen it before. I don't like tanking at all. The difference is this: tanking has a means to an end. So I get it.
Exactly.
There is no means to an end with mediocrity.
Exactly right.
There is. You stay right there. You stay right here. The worst thing to do for me when you're flying is the holdover. It's the worst because you're just flying around in a circle. That's it. Waiting for somebody to land. All right? Because the decision hasn't been made of where you can actually put this plane down so I can continue on with what I need to do. I can't, and you're just waiting. You're in a holding pattern. That's what mediocrity is, man. It's a holding pattern. So yes, tanking sucks. And I'm not advocating for it. And I wish it wasn't a thing, but I get it. It is. There are things you can point to and say, hey, it worked for this instance. Hey, it worked well for these guys. It's not 100%. It's not foolproof, but there is something you can point to and say it worked. You cannot do that with mediocrity. You can't. You can't point to it. All you can point to is say, I went from 9 to 10 or 10 to 9 or 10 to 8. Like, it's you stay there, you know what I mean, in that circle and in that cycle, and that's all you have. And that is more maddening to me, because I think fans understand and are smart enough to understand that when you're tanking, you're trying to get something out of it. You're trying to get this draft pick. You're trying to get this free agent. Whatever you're doing, you understand why your team is doing this. Utah Jazz are a great example of this right now. You get what they're doing. You understand it. You get it. Teams that are just staying in the middle and trying to look cool, like, no, absolutely not. It's not going to work, and you'll be doing this again next year as long as you continue down this road. So now, even in the case of the Bulls, look at the teams that have done it, or we think have done it, I should say. So we watch a team like Detroit, who we watched be bad for years, and now top of the East right there. We've watched Washington be terrible for years. Well, guess what? Now they got a direction and what they want to do, and they're going to be better for sure. Without a doubt, they'll be better next year. You look at teams like Charlotte, who have been bad forever. And Charlotte, what they do, they finally get that player in that draft in Con Knipple who they could build around, and they're going to leapfrog you too. Within this time, you've been just staying right here in that middle. We're going to go for the play-in. We're going to go for the play-in. We're going to go for the play-in. L, L, and L. Against the same team in Miami. Now, Miami people would say to me, like, well, Miami's not winning or nothing like that. But Miami is always trying to get that guy. They're always trying to get that player. And they know how to develop players as well. Because we've seen dudes, I'm like, what? The janitor is now averaging 30 and 10? Like, this is crazy. I don't know how they do it down there in Miami. Like, they will pull people out of the stands. And they will be really good players, you know, and really solid players. We've seen, it's too many examples of it. But I'm just saying, yes, it is worse to be mediocre than it is to tank. It is a more detriment to me to be a mediocre team than it is to be a tanking one, because there is no means to the end. I don't want to just stay in the middle. Make a decision on what you want to be and what your team wants to do. You either want to be the worst, cool. All right, if you want to be the best, cool. Let's make these decisions, though, and see where we land. It can't just be we'll do enough to stay right here so I can keep my job, and we'll be right here. That's what drives me crazy.
Yeah, that's all very well said, and totally agree. And I think just when I look at right now, like what Adam Silver is dealing with and what he's going to try, I assume, before the end of the season to make some noise about, or maybe make some actual decisions about with the tanking, I think that is so difficult to do when you look at who is at the very, very tippy top of the league right now in OKC. Because when you come out and speak out against tanking to all these teams, like you're a shining example, the most elite team in the NBA right now, I think most would agree. How did they do that? I mean, Sam Presti is like crowned as a genius general manager. We know they did that through draft picks, that asset collection. There was like that season where they weren't playing a center for like a long stretch and they had really weird lineups. You look at other competitors too, certainly. You even look back to like the 76ers with the process. And while, they didn't get an NBA title out of the thing, they were on that treadmill of mediocrity, like back when they had Iguodala on the roster, and they broke out of it through that, and they got to a point of greater relevancy, even if it didn't result in a title for them. It still landed them Embiid. So I just don't know how you point to something like you said that has direction and meaning with tanking. And like, I'm a Rockets fan, Dave, and they tanked. They just did like, hey, we're going to have youth movement for about 2 years or so. And then they started developing that up. And then, they got that flexibility to land what they needed to now, injuries are going to take them out this season, but they're interesting. They're relevant in a Western Conference that's pretty deep. So I totally agree. And I guess my point is, I don't know how you scold tanking unless it's specific events like what Utah did in that fourth quarter when they were about to win. Like something like that, I think you could maybe bring a hammer down on, but you're going to have losing teams in any sports league no matter what you do. So I don't know how you legislate that, and I don't know if there is a perfect way to do it.
Yeah, there's no perfect way. Like it's like being a parent. There's no one way to be a great parent, but there are a million ways to be a good one. So it's like that. There's no perfect way to stop it. It's like trying to figure out what you want to do with the draft and how to, change tanking and things like that. Every idea anybody's given me, like, I will hear an immediate rebuttal on from someone as to why it doesn't work or why it can't work. Like, so at some point in time, you just have to pull the trigger and just try something and go for it. And you're right though about every team you just mentioned. Like, I'm saying it's about the 76ers when you're speaking about it. I'm like, you're right. I remember arguments I would have with friends like, dude, like, how did that work? Like, trust the process. And they still can't even get out the second round out here. I'm like, bro, they got the MVP like of the league on their team. Do you know what I would give to have the MVP on my team? Because you know what happened the last time I had it? That dude's jersey is in the rafters.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
What are we talking about? Like, yes, I want to see that, because what you did was you immediately gave yourself an opportunity to be in the conversation of a team that can go to a finals. Everybody can't get there. We get that. But you are allowed to be in the conversation. You're allowed to be a team that tries to get there instead of a team that is continually sputtering. So if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But they went and they tried. And now they still end up with Tyrese Maxey, who's an all-star. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they still
are
like
pretty snowballed a little bit.
Exactly. So they went for it, and it still got rewarded in some kind of way because you went for it, in my opinion. Like, it just didn't work out for how you were doing it. But if any team told you they could have had, at that time, a Ben Simmons and a Joel Embiid on their squad, boy, they would have been throwing parades here in Chicago right now if that was the case. Are you kidding me? I would have been on cloud 58, all right? Forget 9. Like, it would have been up there because of the potential of what it could be. So, yeah, like I said, it's a means to an end, bro. Like, I see it. I hate it. I don't like it. I won't advocate for it. I'm not a fan of it. I don't want to watch bad basketball. Sat and watched, like, lineups of, like, Walter Lemon Jr. and, you know, guys who... We had 2 Sampsons on our team, like 2 dudes whose last name was Sampsons for some reason here. We had Antonio Blakeney, who people know now. Like, I was watching Antonio Blakeney highlights here, all right? You think, yes, I'd rather watch Embiid. Yes, I'd rather watch first-year Ben Simmons on my team. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there has to be a means to that end. And that's what, unfortunately, as it's set up right now, that's what tanking kind of gives you.
The other part too, I think like at the commissioner level, maybe to an extent at the owner level, I think it irks them to see a team that is clearly tanking. But I don't think the fans are on that same level. Like you mentioned, I mean, that meaning and direction is so important. Like I remember watching Rockets games. It was like, yeah, we're gonna have like 25 turnovers. It's gonna be bad, but maybe I'll see like Şengün develop or do something cool. And I know that this year isn't it, but what's going to happen? Like I am hopeful for maybe next season after the off season, or maybe 2 years down the road. I think fans nowadays can appreciate that vision and kind of hang in there a little bit more.
Yeah, no, fans are not dumb. Fans are incredibly smart. So I'm sure you all, I mean, we are all fans, and you guys are brilliant at what you all do, okay? And then people we talk to online and just speaking with them, like there's incredible sports basketball minds out here. Fans are smart. And they're not, and I'm not saying like there aren't some who just like, look, I just want to watch my team win. All right. I don't care what's going on. Just put me something out there. All right. Give me something to make our team win. But in general, fans are incredibly smart. And especially here in Chicago, I know that for a fact. Like fans know their basketball. They're not playing around about it. Okay. They are serious about this. So when you're trying to sell them something that they know is phony, they know isn't working and not right, they're not going to be happy about it. The accepting part of it is where your just loyalty comes into play. Where you just say, okay, man, hey, that's my team. I'm riding with my team. All right. That's how I am about the Bulls. Yes, I can talk this way about them because I love them. I've been around them forever. All right. I've seen the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, and I'm not going anywhere. This is my squad. I love the Bulls forever. All right. But I know what I'm looking at, and I'll hopefully can articulate it to people where they can understand what I'm saying as a fan of the game and a fan of this team. So speaking for the fan aspect of it, man, the fans aren't dumb. They aren't stupid. You tell them what's going on and they will accept it. You just have to be honest with them in what you're doing. If you tell them, hey, we're going for the championship this year, cool. Bet I know how to move. I know how to act. I know how to look for it. And we'll respond. Hey, we're not going to be as good this year. We'll see. You were trying to develop some of these young guys and see what's going on. Great. Now I can focus on this draft and look and see what's coming up on this way and that way. But when you're just continually, feeding them trash and crap and, lies and, half truths, and things like that, they're not dumb. They know what's going on. They see what's happening and they will get frustrated and they will yell. All right. And they will go full my main man, Matt Peck, on you because of what you're doing and showing us, man. So I've said this on the show. Sometimes it's insulting, and you don't want to insult somebody's intelligence about what you're seeing out there, and again, I'm not a dude who plays basketball or anything. I'm saying right now, but I'm saying since you can't just sit here and, and feed it to me, like I don't know what I'm seeing and I don't know what I'm looking at. I know exactly what I'm looking at. I know exactly what I'm seeing. I know exactly what I'm hearing, bro. Like,
yep.
You can't insult me, in this kind of way, because then I get frustrated by it. But if you're trying to win, great. If you're trying to lose, great. But if you're continually giving me the half-truths and, partial lies or little white lies, as they call them and things like that, that's the middle every single day. And I never want to be there.
Yeah, no, I feel you. One last question before we say goodbye to you. You want to get your thoughts on this All-Star weekend, your vibes, negatives, positives. You can take it any way you want. If you want to talk about the celebrity game and Shams not scoring, you want to talk about Wemby dominating, you want to talk about the terrible, mediocre, I would not say terrible, mediocre dunk contest, or, the 3-point contest was great. Anything you observed over All-Star weekend?
So, yeah, I watched the whole All-Star weekend. The celebrity game, it was a celebrity game. I was entertained by it. I didn't even know Shams missed all those shots until they told me. They're like, because I'm not watching it. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's a celebrity game. I'm not judging people, but the only thing I was really tripping on was Taco Fall just dominating the whole thing. But and Giannis, who was hilarious that entire time. But the Rising Stars game, I thought set the tone for that weekend. I thought it was great. I really was entertained by the Rising Stars game. Congratulations to Modest and Team Vince for winning. I like seeing, Modest actually be a part of something positive. as far as winning is concerned, and him raising a trophy and being happy. That's a great look. And just seeing some of those young players and how that VJ Edgecombe, my God, another Philadelphia 76. VJ Edgecombe.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Killer.
Incredible. So that was great. The dunk contest was horrific and truly bad, truly horrible, truly terrible. I don't think it has earned the cachet to still be the main event. Clearly the main event is where the stars are, and the stars are in the 3-point contest, to the point that Dame Lillard came just to do that. He's injured. He's out for the year. And he said, oh yeah, I'm coming for the 3-point contest. All right. That's a star. So when your stars are showing up, that's where the focus should be. That should be the main thing, because the NBA has changed. It's about that 3-point shot right about now. So roll with that until the dunk contest maybe finds its legs again. It has to, but there are no stars there. There's the difference. And people tell you, wow, man, they don't have the same, they've run out of things to do. No, it's not that. It's there's no stars in it, because I would much rather watch Wembanyama do, off the glass backwards dunks than Jackson Hayes or Jace Richardson. I want to see it, from the stars. That's what it's supposed to be about. It is the All-Star weekend, all right? The All-Star game itself was outstanding. I loved every second of it. They were competitive. Wemby set the tone for sure. He wanted to win hard, all right? And I like that it bothered him when he lost. It really bothered him. It set the tone. Guys wanted to win. Anthony Edwards took that all the way. This is why he ended up with the MVP. Kawhi Leonard reminding people that, dude, when I'm healthy, I'm arguably the best player in this game. Like, he was outstanding. And it was so much fun to watch that. Sets being run, defense being played a little bit, like guys cared. That's all you wanted, is guys to care. So when your stars show up, when former president of the United States, Barack Obama, shows up and he's courtside with Michelle Obama, it's time to play. It's time to do stuff. And yeah, I was really happy. Honestly, I was really happy with the game and how that weekend went. I knew it wouldn't be perfect, like I mentioned, the dunk contest, but the competitiveness was high and guys cared about what was happening on the floor. And that's all you can ask for, right? In an all-star game, is guys to just care and understand, like, this is the game of basketball. It's been here before you, it'll be here after you. So take care of it and try to cultivate it and grow it to the best way, you can. And the all-star game is kind of one of those ways to do it. Gives fans the ability to look at certain players and see certain players that maybe they haven't been able to, spend a lot of time with because they're not on their favorite team or whatever. So yeah, they took it seriously. It was great. And the results were really good for the All-Star game as far as ratings are concerned too. Like, it was a really good weekend for the NBA when it comes to that.
Yeah, totally agree. And hopefully they can capitalize on that momentum for the years to come. Dave, we'll let you go. Thank you very much for the time. A pleasure talking to you. Can you let our audience know where they can find your podcast, where you're located on social media, and any upcoming projects you're working on as well?
First of all, again, Justin and Matt, I'll say it again. Thank y'all for having me on. Anytime y'all need me on, I'm here. All right. CHGO Bulls is what I do. Myself, Matt Peck, Will the Go Gottlieb, we cover the team from tip to tail, 5 days a week. On game nights, we do a pregame and we do a postgame. On off days, we do an hour-long podcast. So in the off season, 5 days a week, we're doing an hour-long podcast. We do appearances, we do watch parties. We do it all because we love the Bulls and we love the fans of the Bulls very, 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 very much, because we wouldn't be able to do this without, the fan love and support that we, get. So it means something to me to meet somebody who likes what I do. It means something to have that conversation. So I'm thankful for that. I love doing CHGO Bulls. Tune in. It's on YouTube. You can follow me. It's on a bunch of stuff. YouTube, Fubo, Xfinity. It's a ton of places. So you have plenty of options to check it out if you would like. It's BAWL Sports. You have to say it like Avery Johnson is saying it. Instagram is Big Dave CHGO. Yeah, I'm just talking sports and music on those things, on those platforms. And sometimes I'm writing for CHGO Bulls as well. So you can see that too. So yeah, season's about to kick back off, so we're about to tap right back in.
Awesome. Thank you very much for the time. Good luck to yourself and the rest of the team along the way. And hopefully there'll be some bright spots for the Bulls. It's not all doom and gloom, but I don't know.